Hey, food family. I wanted to do something special in remembrance of my mom this Mother's Day. So I decided to make her famous tamale pie. And so we start out with some ground turkey meat. We got some taco seasoning, some stewed tomatoes, some southwestern corn. We also use cornbread with that. And you know we got my chicken diva seasoning. I hope you got your pen and paper because this is one recipe you do not want to miss. So right now I'm gonna go ahead, take a pan, and in that pan I want to heat up some avocado oil. Avocado oil is actually really good for you. That's that good fat. So I'm gonna put a little bit in a pan, get it nice and hot, right? And I'm gonna take that ground turkey meat. It's like I think it's maybe 93% lean, something like that. And so I'm gonna go ahead and put it in the pan, or it might be 83% lean. Put it in the pan and let it tongue tied. Start to let it get brown, and then I got that chicken diva seasoning right there. I'm gonna go ahead and sprinkle a little bit of that in there to add some extra flavor. Yes, and then what I'm doing is breaking down that ground turkey because I don't want it in chunks. So I'm just kind of like smashing it up and then incorporating that seasoning into it really well because we want it to be evenly distributed. So when it gets nice and brown like it is, we don't need to drain it because it's not really like ground beef. If you like ground beef, and if that's the meat you want, go ahead and use it. I use ground turkey because that's what I like. So I'm going ahead and I'm putting this taco seasoning in there, and it's actually low sodium taco seasoning. You can use whatever kind of brand you like. I use different brands. Today I'm using, I think, the El Torito brand, but it really doesn't matter, whatever you like. So we go ahead and distribute that evenly, stir it up really well, get it well incorporated into the meat. Yes, and then I went ahead and followed the back of the package. It's called for like 3/4 cups of water. And so I go ahead and put that in and incorporate it very well, and so that it soaks back up into the meat. And so just stir that around. And my goodness, the smell, y'all, my mama's tamale pie was well loved, well loved and requested amongst family and friends always. So we're just stirring that up really well, getting it well incorporated, and it's like on a medium low heat. We don't want the heat too high. And so look at that there. It's bubbly and it's smelling amazing. So right now I'm just gonna pour that into like a small pan right there and spread it out a bit. To that, I'm going to go ahead and add that Southwest corn. The Southwest corn has chunks of red bell pepper, green bell pepper. You can also use fresh. My mom used to use fresh bell pepper, so it adds just a little extra oomph to it. So go ahead and do that if you want. So I went ahead and added the whole can. You don't have to put that much corn in there. You could really just do half a can. Those stewed tomatoes, I'm going to drain all of that tomato juice off of that into our dish right there. And then I'm going to take those tomatoes because they're like in halves and we don't want those chunks in our tamale pie. So I'm going to chop up those tomatoes. I did not use the whole can. I am kind of allergic to tomatoes, but sometimes I do eat them. And so I'm just going to cut them up in little chunks like that. I use maybe a half a can. And so I used all of the tomato sauce that was in the can, though you definitely want to use all of the tomato sauce. And if you want to use all the tomatoes, you love tomatoes like that, by all means, go ahead and use all the tomatoes. And so what I did was I had preheated my oven to 350 and I went ahead and popped that in there for about 15 minutes to get hot. And so I'm using that Jiffy cornbread. I don't have eggs, but I did have egg yolks, right? We'll get to that in a moment. But anyway, we're going to toss that that Jiffy cornbread mix into a bowl, and I'm taking my whisk and I'm knocking out the like chunks. And so I don't have eggs, but I did have egg whites. So that's what we use, and we're using egg whites. I said, well, let's see. I never did this before. So I used probably about a third of a cup of the egg whites. And then I'm allergic to milk, so I drink almond milk. So I'm going to pour in just a little bit of almond milk. I'm just kind of eyeballing it till I get just about what I want in there, maybe a third of a cup. And then I'm going to whisk that around and get it well incorporated. And what I do with that cornbread is I mix it maybe about every minute or every 2 minutes. I mix it up, and I do that for about 6 or 7 minutes until that cornmeal breaks down and it becomes like a cake batter consistency. Yeah, so moving on, I wanted a little side salad, so I had some romaine lettuce. So I went ahead and cut off the end and cleaned it up, washed it up really well, threw it in a strainer, and now I'm putting it in my container, which has like a basket inside of the container so that the water can drain down into the bottom and it doesn't sit in water. And then I'm gonna go ahead and put my lid on there and pop it in the refrigerator until I am ready for that. And that's gonna be really, really yummy. Yes. And so I went ahead and I popped my pan into a 350-degree oven, just till it gets hot. You see it's hot and bubbly, about 15-20 minutes. I'm gonna pull that out now, and I'm gonna go ahead and top it with my cornbread. And as you can see, hey, you can actually dish this up in a bowl and have it with some crackers if you like. And you see the consistency now of that cornbread. It is smooth. It is like a cake batter mix. And I just took and I poured that across the top there. And then I'm going to shake the pan a little bit so that it can be kind of evenly distributed across the mixture of meat we have at the bottom. And then I'm just going to take it and I'm going to pop it back in the oven. Yes. And we are going to bake that at 350 degrees for about 20 minutes, or until a toothpick or a knife comes out clean, right? So we just gonna set it and forget it. And now look at it. Oh my goodness. It looks so good and it smells so good. This just flashes me back to every time my mom used to make this. Whew, let me tell you, today was the best day to make it. It's like I got my mom right here with me. This is Country Crock plant butter. This is like a vegan butter. And so I'm going to take a little bit of that, and we want to put it on the top of the cornbread so we can get it nice and glossy, nice and buttery, nice and yummy. Yes. So for everybody who is watching this, who has ever had my mom's tamale pie, y'all will be proud of this. This is good. This is really, really good. You know, I got that touch. I watched my mom make it so much, and I did do a whole lot of alterations with this. Now, my mom didn't use almond milk and egg whites and all that, but I put my own spin on it, but it's still absolutely delicious. Look at it glistening. Y'all see it's glistening. Shoot, let me tell you, I made my mama proud. I made my mama proud. I made my mama proud. I made my mama proud with this, y'all. I did it. I did my big one on here. I did my big one on here. And now it's time to eat. And I want it hot, piping hot. So I'm going to take that big old spoon right there and get me a nice hunk for dinner. Whew, man, I miss you, Mama, but I thank you for the legacy that you left, for the love that you left, for the recipes that you left, for me getting into the kitchen and watching you as a little girl, and you letting me cook and do my thing, and I just so appreciate that. My mama was just, oh my goodness, she was my best friend. She was my road buddy. She was my girl, and look at that. That's tamale pie, y'all. That's tamale pie. Wait a minute. Hold on. Let me get the rest of my goodies out of that pan. Yes, indeed. Let's leave no food behind. None. And then we're going to pour that over the top of that cornbread like that. Oh, y'all. Yes. Now, if you're watching this and you want me to make you a tamale pie, I can do that. I can do that. I can do that. I can do that for the right price. Yes, I can. I can do that. So that's it, tamale pie. And I got a little bit of romaine lettuce with a drizzle of blue cheese. And that's my dinner for Mother's Day. So I want to say happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there, to the mothers that are physically here, to the mothers that have passed on, that are in heaven. We miss you. We miss you and we love you and we thank you for everything. Thank you for everything. And thank you for who you were to us. I love you. Love you, Mom.